Good morning, students. Welcome to the new batch of Python, batch 377. Am I audible to you? Please confirm in the chat box. Thank you so much. Thank you for confirming, students. Let's proceed with the session today. So while proceeding with the session, first let's take whatever you know about me. My name is Ritu, and I am working with Logic Lab Technologies for the last 2 to 3 years. In case of any emergency, you can mail us on support@logiclabstech.com. This batch is starting from today. Timings will be 6:30 a.m. That is Indian Standard Time. Course fee will be 4130 INR or 50 USD dollars. Duration of the course is 40 days. First 3 sessions will be free to attend, and from the 4th session, Zoom link will be changed and will be shared to the registered participants only. First 2 sessions recordings will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, and we'll share the link in the WhatsApp community group. From the 3rd day, recording session will be shared to the only paid candidates. No batch shifting is allowed and no amount will be refunded. And if you want to go ahead with any session update, if you want to know, join our WhatsApp community and follow announcement option. This is the link which is given for the WhatsApp community group. All the session recordings and notes will be accessed through LMS Graphy. Support team will be available to help you from Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So you can always contact them in case of emergency. For our queries, you can mail them or call us on the numbers given on the screen. Please follow us on our website, and you will get the updates on jobs also. www.logiclabstech.com. Telegram group is mentioned here. Facebook group is mentioned again. YouTube, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So do follow us here. And in case of any question, what you need to do is just raise your hand. You have an option on your screen of raising hand. Just go ahead and raise your hand, ask the question. I'll unmute you and you'll be able to answer me. Or you can drop the message in the chat box also. I will be there to answer you. Any questions still here? Any questions? No questions. No, ma'am. Very good. Students, I want my class to be interactive. So I request you all, whenever I ask you the question, please answer me so that I'll understand whether you're getting me or not. Whatever I'm teaching you is clear to you. Let's proceed with the session now. So, before proceeding further, I wanted to, do you have any idea about the Python? Do you have any idea about the Python? No idea. Yes. Okay. Some of the students has. Okay. Some of the students are saying yes and some are saying no. So everyone knows, most of the student knows that Python is a programming language. Students, we are starting this batch from the scratch. All the students who are very new to the Python or programming can go ahead and learn this language easily. This will be from basic to advanced. So you will learn each and everything. I'll keep on asking you meanwhile that everything is clear to you. From the third day onwards, I'll share my email ID to you guys. I'll share my email ID to you guys so that in case of any query after this session also, if you want to ask any question regarding the topics, you can always mail me and ask me regarding that. I'll be there to answer you. Fine. Now let's proceed with the Python. Python is what? We know it is a general purpose, simple, platform independent, highly interpreted and high level programming language. Now, how is it general purpose, simple, platform independent, highly interpreted and high level programming language? It is easy to say this, but how can we understand that this is a general purpose language? How it can be the simple, how it is platform independent? We understand this because these are the key features of the Python language. We'll understand this while we'll proceed further. First of all, we need to understand that this is a programming language which is very easy to use. We just need to follow the syntaxes and we'll be able to get a command on this. Now, kind of applications we can develop by using Python. Now, when we are talking about the kind of applications which we can develop, whosoever wants to make their career in the website development, they can always proceed with this. Like kind of applications, web application development, like website developments, Java programming language was also very helpful, C language, C++ programming language, but Python is now helpful in running the, if we want to proceed our career in website development, we need to have the knowledge of Python. Even if you want to go ahead with the AI, you need to have the knowledge of Python. Want to go ahead with the gaming applications? Again, you need Python for that. AI, as I've told you, machine learning, deep learning, you need to have knowledge of Python. So it is the hottest selling language. Desktop GUI. What do you understand by GUI? Graphical User Interface Applications. If we want to proceed with image processing application, text processing application, business application, audio and video-based applications such as YouTube, web scraping, harvesting applications, everywhere, even if we want to go ahead with CAD and CAM-based applications. IoT, automation industry for testing of sensors. If you want to build your career in as a data analysis or you want to be the data analytics, again, what you need is Python. Even education industry and the banking industry is also using Python as their programming language. Now, this is about what kinds of applications we can develop with the help of Python. Now, what about Python? What is the history of Python? How it got developed? And which versions the companies are using? What is the downloading process of Python? And it is inspired from? And what all are the features of Python? Let's proceed with that. Now, once we are talking about the history of Python, as I've told you, It is the general purpose programming language used in development of real-time applications. And it was conceived in the year 1980. Means Guido van Rossum, who was the father of Python, started working on Python programming language in the year 1980, and it was implemented in the year 1989. Means it took 9 years to develop these applications. Officially, it was released in year 1991, February 20 again. Almost 11 years. So Python programming language was developed by Guido van Rossum, as I've told you. Python programming language was developed at Centrum Wiskunde Informatica, that is CWI, which is also known as CWI Institute in Netherlands. Now, if we talk about the predecessor language of Python programming, that is ABC programming language. It is managed and maintained by a non-commercial organization, that is PSF, Python Software Foundation. It is in Netherlands. Official website of Python Software Foundation is www.python.org, from where we can freely download this. So that is why it is known to be a freeware. Let's go ahead and let me show you what is the downloading process of Python. Let's go ahead. Just go to the Chrome or whatever you are using. Even for the MacBook, you will get the option on YouTube where you can proceed with this. Just go to it and go to the website www.python.org. Just go to it, click on this, you will get the screen like this. Once you'll get the screen like this, here you have everything about this, about downloads, documentation, community, success story, news, and events. So we have everything. What we need to do is just go to the downloads. Go to the downloads where you can see all the releases, source codes, Windows, Mac OS, other platform license, alternative implementation. Now, in this, go to Python 3.13.0. Click on this. This is the newest version and it will start downloading. It will start downloading. Once you will download this, it is already there. It will please include, you will get the option to click. Includes ideally pip and documentation, creates shortcuts, file association. You need to click on everything. Then only you'll be able to do that. Fine. Fine. See, it's installing in my system. Although it is already there, but it is processing, it is upgrading. Got to know? You have the laptops with you? If you want to proceed with the Mac OS, just go ahead with the Mac operating system. There you can download this. Any questions till now, students? Any questions? No, ma'am. Very good. Thank you for responding. That will take a long time. Now, After this, if you want to go ahead, you can always go ahead with all the versions which we have till now. You can go ahead and check all the releases here, documentation, community, success stories, everything you will get it here. Now let's proceed with the Python. Now, what are the versions which MNCs are using? Let's go ahead and talk about them. Just a second. Now, versions of Python, which MNCs are using. Versions are what? They are the numerical identity given by the product project vendors. Now, Python programming language contains three types of version. First, second, and third version. Now, in the first version, as we can see on the screen, we have 3.13.0. So means 3 is the major version and 13 is the minor version. And 0.0, 0.1, 0.2 are the minor changes which are taking place. 1.x, where 1 is the major version, x represents the minor versions. If we talk about Python, it has 1.0, 1.1, 2, 3 till 7. These all are the minor versions which are not available now. Python 1.x is outdated now. And Python does not support backward compatibility. So we cannot go ahead and work on this. Now, after that, some of the companies are still using Python 2.x, in which 2 is the major version. X represents, we have 0, 1, 2 till 7. These are the minor versions. Now, Python 3.x, where 3 is the major version. And now, the latest version we have seen is 13. We can see till 1, 2, 3, till 7, 10, 13. 13 is the latest versions. So I request you all to go ahead and download the Python 3.13.0 version from the official website. Let's go ahead. After this, I want to tell you, this is this website. Wherever we can check the updates, the major, the minor updates also. Now, when we talk about the features of the languages, features of Python, features are nothing but the facilities provided by the language developers. As I've told you, that simple, freeware and open source, platform independent, highly interpreted programming language. So these all are the features of this, right? And they are used by the language programmers for developing the real-time applications. If we talk about the features, see, features of a language are services or facilities provided by the language developers in the language and used by the language programmers for developing the real-time application. If we talk about Python, it has 11 features. What are those? Simple, freeware and open source, platform independent language, dynamically typed language, interpreted programming language, high-level programming language, robust. Robust means strong language, extensible, embedded, both functional and object-oriented. It also supports the third-party APIs like NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Keras, etc. Right? Now, we'll talk about these features in detail, but before that, we need to understand that Python is inspired from what? If we talk about Python, it is inspired from the 4 different programming languages. It is inspired from, it has learned functional programming from where? From C. Object-oriented programming from C++. Modular programming language from Modulo 3, and scripting from Perl. So it is inspired from the 4 different programming language. Now, whatever we store will be stored in the form of objects. Will be stored in the form of objects in the Python programming language. Although whatever we are storing is stored in the form of objects in Java as well. But if we talk about Java, Java is size restricted, whereas in Python, we can store unlimited amount of data. Now let's proceed with the features. Features first is the simple. Why it is known to be a simple programming language? Because of its 3 features, 3 technical features. Now, what are those? Python programming provides a rich set of APIs. Now, what is APIs? APIs are the libraries. Full form of APIs is Application Programming Interface. And it is a collection of modules. It has some predefined modules, which is already there in this. And we can also develop the modules, which is known as programmer-defined modules. We'll do that later on. So it has a rich set of APIs, and so that the Python program can reuse the predefined code. So what we need to do is we just need to import the predefined module, and the other programmer can also reuse the predefined code without writing their own code. They need not to write their code. So Python-based applications are easy to develop. Definition of API, as I've told you, application programming interface. API is a collection of module, and module is what? Is a collection of functions, variables, and classes. Like if we talk about calendar, calendar is what? It is a predefined module. So what we need to do is we need to import calendar, import OS, operating system, import remodule, import render module, import math module. So these all are the predefined module, and we can easily, if we want to proceed with this, we just need to import them, and we'll be able to use this. This will be providing us the predefined code. So we need not to write our own code. This is about the first factor. Second factor is garbage collector facility. If we talk about the second factor of the simple languages, garbage collector facility. What do we understand by garbage collector facility? Garbage collector, what is the role of this? It will remove the unused memory space, which improves the performance of Python-based applications. Student, I wanted to show you something. Once you download the Python software, you will get the screen like this. You will get the screen like this. This is a Python command prompt. You will get this. And what you need to do is just click here, because they will provide very small characters, very small alphabets. You need to click on this, go to the properties, and there you have the option of the fonts, layouts, colors, terminal, everything, and the fonts, bold font and whatever font you want to go ahead. Just select them and click OK. Fine. Now, as I've told you that it provides the garbage collector facility. Now, what do we understand by garbage collector facility? Now, garbage collector facility, like A is equal to 100. I'm simply writing A is equal to 100, right? Now, if I write print A, I'll get the output 100. Now, immediately, I'm writing A is equal to 120. Now, if I write print A, we will get 120. Now, even if we want to go ahead with 100, we need to write it again. Why? Because garbage collector comes and removes the memory space. which helps in the performance of Python-based applications. Okay, so garbage collector takes care of the automatic memory management. Getting me? Getting me? If we want 100, we need to write it again. Then only it will remember the 100. Otherwise, it will only remember 120. Now I have written 100, it will forget 120. Garbage collector will come and remove it. Clear to you? Clear to you? Okay. Kaushik Verma wanted to ask me the question. Okay. Okay, just a second. Yes, Kaushik, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, ma'am. So I have one doubt. So in place of 100 only, we are importing 120, right? So there is no wastage of space. So what is the need for removal? So that's what I'm not getting in that point.
What is the need of? I'm not getting your voice properly.
Removing 120, because in place of 100 variable, we are replacing it with 120.
Yes. See, we are not removing it. This is automatic memory management. We are
Okay.
not removing it. Garbage collector will automatically remove it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
got it.
if you want to change the value of variable, then we need to put it.
Okay.
Okay. If
Yeah.
we want to go ahead, it will only remember the latest thing. The whatever we have written earlier, it will be automatically deleted
Delete.
from its memory.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, got it.
Okay. Okay. One of the students wants to ask me more question. Just a second. Yes. Toby. Yes, please unmute yourself. Toby, please unmute yourself.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was gonna type yes, so I mistakenly went to raise up my hand.
Okay. So do you have any question?
No, I don't. Thank you.
No problems. Fine. Let's go ahead now. So garbage collector will take care of the automatic memory management. Now, third factor. Let's talk about the third factor. Third factor is user-friendly syntaxes. Now, what do we understand by syntaxes? Some of the students understand the syntaxes who are from the programming background, and who are not from the programming background. What about them? Syntaxes are nothing, but it is helpful in provided we can develop with the help of syntaxes, we can develop error-free programs in limited span of time. Now, when we talk about the syntaxes, it is exactly similar to the formulas as we have in the mathematics. We just need to follow the syntaxes, and what we'll be able to develop the error-free programming language. Right? Second feature is platform independent language. Platform independent language. Students, we have two types of language. One is platform dependent language, and second is platform independent language. Now, platform is nothing but type of OS being used to run the application or program. In this context, we have two types of languages, as I've told you, platform dependent and platform independent. Platform dependent languages are those whose data types differs from one OS. What is OS? Operating system, to another OS, like C, C++, etc. Their data types differs from one OS to another OS. Whereas if we talk about the platform independent language, Python is a platform independent language because its data type remains same on all the OSs. In effective platform independent language, all types of values will be stored in the form of objects, as I've told you. And they are stored, we can store unlimited amount of data. Even though Java contains, even whatever we are storing in Java, that is also stored in the form of objects, but it is size restricted. Whereas in Python, we can store the unlimited amount of data and unlimited values can be stored in. Now, whatever we'll store in Python will be stored in the form of objects. So understood the difference between the platform dependent language and independent language? Please give me the answer. Understood the difference between both? One more repeat, please. Okay. See, when we talk about platform dependent language, what happens in that? It's data type. Whatever we stored in the data type, it will differ from one operating system to another operating system. In spite of this, if we want to run the Python code in C language, we'll be able to, because its data type remains same on all types of operating systems. That is why it is known to be a platform independent language. And we can store whatever we are storing in Python is stored in the form of objects. And that is why if we are storing everything in form of objects, so we can store the unlimited amount of data. Okay, even whatever we are storing is stored in the form of objects in the Java as well. But still, Java is size restricted. Whereas in Python, we can store unlimited amount of data, unlimited values can be stored in this. Clear to you now? Clear to you? Yes, good. Let's proceed further now. Third feature, freeware and open source. Now, what do we understand by freeware and open source? No problems, Abdul, that's my duty. Let's proceed further. Freeware and open source. Now, when we talk about the freeware means if any software is set to be freeware, means it can be downloaded freely from its official website. I've shown you the downloading process of Python software. We need not to pay anything for that. We can freely download it from its official website, that is www.python.org. Now, what do we understand by open source? Standard name of Python is a C Python. Please remember this. This is very important. Standard name of Python is a C Python. So, even you need to remember this, some of the company vendors are coming forward and changing the customized version as their in-house tools, right? Now, some of the distributors, like if they want to go ahead and want to run the Java-based applications, so they are using JPython or Jython. JPython or Jython, they have used their name now. IronPython or IPython used to run the C#.NET applications. MicroPython used to develop the microcontrollers. RubyPython used to develop the Ruby-based applications. So what I've told you, that its data type remains same on all the operating systems. Right? That is one of the reasons it is known to be a platform independent language. RubyPython used to run the Ruby-based applications. Anaconda Python used to run the Hadoop applications. Hadoop means big data applications. Okay, so there are a lot many. There are a lot many which we can use this. So its data type remains same. Now, next is dynamically typed programming language. We have two types of programming language. One is a static type programming language, and second is a dynamically typed programming language. Now, when we talk about the static type programming language, in the static type programming language, we must define a variable. Means declaration of the variable is mandatory. Even if we talk about C, C++, Java, .NET and all, we need to define the variable. Like, let me show you. In the static type, we need to define the variable, like int a, b, c. We need to mention that this is an integer value. Variable declaration is mandatory. A is 10. What type of value it is? This is integer value. B is equal to tell you 20. What type of value it is? Again, integer value. C is equal to A plus B. We'll be getting 30. What type of value it is? Integer value. So declaration is mandatory in this. What about this? This is taking place in C, C++, Java, etc. In spite of this, if we talk about the dynamically typed programming language, what does that mean? A is equal to 10. Now, if I simply write print A, type of A, it is not mandatory to declare it. It will automatically give that this is an integer value. B is equal to 12.5. Now print B. Type of B. What type of value it is? This is a floating point value, decimal point value. Also, it is known as floating point value. Now, C is equal to A plus B. I'm writing the same thing, but print C, type of C. We'll get the output, right? So, in this, declaration is not mandatory, right? In the static type programming language, declaration is mandatory, whereas if we talk about the dynamically typed programming language, we need not to specify the data type of the variable. Data type of the variable decided by the Python execution environment based on the values assigned by the programming. Clear to you guys? Is this clear to you? Now, as I've told you, whatever will be stored in the form of objects in the Python programming language. Yes, it's clear. Very good. Let's go ahead now. Fifth, it is interpreted programming language. Let's go ahead and understand it is interpreted programming language. Now, what do we understand by interpreted programming language? Students, when we are talking about the interpreted programming language, whenever we develop any Python program, we need to give it some file name. We need to give it some file name, and that file name will be stored with an extension .py. Then only it will be considered as the Python file. Whenever we save any program, that should be saved with .py extension. Let me show you. Let me show you. I have some programs for you. Now, let me show you here. Just a second. See. Let's take C. We have the program with .py extension. So what all are these? These are the Python programs, right? So whatever we'll be storing should be stored with the .py extension. Now, whenever we execute the Python program, two processes takes place internally. Now, what are those two processes? One is a compilation process and second is an execution process. Now, what do we understand by compilation process and execution process? Students, in the compilation process, the Python source code submitted to the Python compiler, it reads the source code, check for the syntaxes. It will verify the syntaxes. And if no error found, then it will convert it into the intermediate code that is with .pyc extension. Now, this is an internal process. .pyc extension means file name .pyc. As I've told you, standard name of Python is CPython. And in case if the error found, then that error will be displayed on the console. Let me show you with the help of this flowchart. I have saved one file with sum.py. This is a source code. I've saved this file. Now, after this, after saving this, once we'll execute the program, what happens is, first of all, the compilation process takes place. This is a compilation process. It will read the source code line by line. Whatever we have written, it will read for it line by line. If there is no problem, everything is okay, right? If we'll find, it will check for the syntaxes. If no error found, if there is an error, that error will be displayed on the console. This is the error. First remove it, then only you will be able to convert it. Once it will, if no error found, it will convert it into the intermediate code, that is a bytecode with sum.pyc. This is the internal process. Right? Now, after this, the execution process will start. The compilation process will end here. The execution process will start. Now, what happens is this, the PVM will reads the Python intermediate code. Now, this is the intermediate code. It will read the intermediate code line by line and convert it into the machine understandable format. That is a binary code which is read by the OS, and finally it gives the result. Now, what is PVM? PVM is what? It is a Python virtual machine. PVM is one program in Python software whose role is to read the source code line by line, or whose role intermediate code line by line, and convert it into the machine understandable language. Let's understand this let's go ahead and read it one more time. Python source code submitted to the Python compiler reads the source code, check for the errors by verifying the syntaxes. If no error found, then it will convert it into the intermediate code. That is a bytecode with an extension .pyc. And if the error found, then that error will be displayed on the console. And the PVM, in the execution process, the PVM reads the Python intermediate code line by line and convert it into the machine understandable code, which is a binary code, which read by the OS, and finally it gives the result. Now, in Python program execution, compilation process and execution process is taking place line by line conversion, and this is the interpretation-based programming language. Now, what is definition of PVM? As I've told you, Python virtual machine. It is one of the program in Python software whose role is to read the source code line by line of bytecode and convert it into the machine understandable code, executable or binary code. Let me go ahead and make you understand this with the help of example. Let's go ahead. Now I have this program with me. Let's go ahead. Let me go ahead. Let me go to the Edit Plus first. Okay. See, now let me go ahead and open this program. I have this program with, right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the changes in this. I'm going to make the changes in this. Let me go ahead and let me change this. Let me delete this. Save this. Let's go ahead and run this program now. Let's go ahead and run this program now. What I'm going to do is, now, this was the file name, big example one. I'm trying to run this program. Enter value. See, got the error. Got the error. What type of error? Now this is the index error. In which line it is providing? Line number 6. Let's go ahead and check this. Yes. We need to mention this. Then only we'll be getting the output. Getting me? That error will be displayed on the console. If no error found, then automatically it will change it and will give the result. Intermediate code, and then means bytecode, and then it will execute, read for the source code, convert it into the machine understandable language, and gives the result. Clear to you guys? Was that example sufficient for you? Okay, one more student wanted to ask me the question. Yes, please, Kaushik, unmute yourself.
Yeah, so we have that big X 1.py, right? So is that a bytecode? Because it is getting updated, right? I can see date is getting modified.
I didn't understand your question.
So we have that bytecode dot big ex1.py file, right? So there I can see date is getting updated. Can you open that folder?
This
Folder,
one?
folder. Windows Explorer. Where
Just a
programs are listed, right?
okay, just a second. You want me to open this, right? The
Yeah,
command
yeah.
prompt?
Inside Windows Explorer.
Windows Explorer, you are saying. Just a second. Just a second. One of the student asking me the question. Just hold for a minute.
Yeah.
Just a second. You want to see something you want to go ahead with this? No. I didn't understand your question, whatever you were saying. Sorry. Can you drop the question in the chat box so I can go through it? Kaushik,
Hello?
can you drop the message in the chat box so I can go through the question, whatever you
Yeah.
were saying properly?
Sure. Can you open the F drive in your system? F drive
I'm
programs.
opening that, but what is there in this? Like, see, I'm opening it. What happens?
So if you go to programs folder, so
Programs folder of batch, any batch, right? I'm
yes, any
opening
batch.
it, yes.
Yeah, so you can see the date is getting modified. Below that, there is one py file, right? Big X, yeah, that one. That one date
This
got
one
modified.
back file, this is what you're saying?
Yes, that one. Yeah.
See, dear, the thing is, I am saving the program in the Edit Plus,
Okay.
right? And in the Edit Plus, we have an option. I'll show you something. In the Edit Plus, I have an option. See, file. If I want to open the new file, I have an option of others. There I have the option. in which file I want to save this. If I'll
Okay.
simply click on Python, whatever I'll save with the name also, that will be saved with the .py extension only.
Okay. So I was confused with that. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
don't you get confused about it. We'll discuss about it later.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, don't you worry.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, now one of the student wanted to ask me more question. Just a second. Okay. Yes, in the chat box, I have a question. Abdul wants to say that this will not make any difference to the programmer and it is an internal machine job. No, it will make difference to the programmer, Abdul, because if we'll get the error, being a programmer, we need to modify this. We need to change that. Right? If we'll find any error, if the error is there, the end user won't be able to run the program until or unless we'll make the changes, we'll clear the syntaxes. Getting me? Unless or until we'll modify this will give the error to everyone. End user won't be able to run the program. Yes. Anyone else? Anyone else? Any other question? Kevin, want to ask me the question? Just a second, Kevin. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, I want to ask about the Edit Plus. Are we going to download it as we proceed with the classes?
What do you want to download? Python?
No, I'm asking about the Edit Plus.
Edit Plus. Edit
Yeah.
Plus, Kevin, I'll let you know once from the 12th day. From the 12th day onwards, we'll be going ahead with the programming. Then I'll let you know how to download it, and I will provide you the key also for that.
All right, thank you.
Fine? Okay. Student, right now I've just given you the example because I wanted you to understand the difference between the compilation and the execution process. So that is why I've just given you the example. Don't get confused with the Edit Plus. Whenever the time comes, I'll let you know how to go ahead and download the Edit Plus. We have the Jupyter notebooks also. We have the PyCharm also. So you can go ahead with any of these. I'll let you know about it. Fine. So let's wind up the session now. Rest of the features we'll discuss tomorrow. Hope whatever we have discussed in the session is clear till now. Any questions? No questions. Yes, ma'am, it's clear. Thank you. No problems. We'll see you tomorrow, students, then sharp at 6:30. So tomorrow is also the demo session. I request you all to go ahead and join the session sharp at 6:30. We'll see you tomorrow. Till then, take care of yourself. If you have any questions, just let me know tomorrow. I'll be there and help you with that. Okay? We'll see you tomorrow, students. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.